Alright guys, welcome to today's video. Kind of exciting news. You guys know every time I boost leak a car, I do end up finding leaks. And it does turn out, ironically, I made the title of my video yesterday, making the Evo faster. It turns out, I'm probably down 100 wheel on the Evo and have been down 100 wheel. Because the idiot that did the turbo install, I don't know if you guys remember who did the turbo install, but if you haven't seen the video, you should probably go back and remind yourself. Yeah, I know, I don't want to, he's really sensitive. He's had a lot of stuff going on lately, so I don't want to poke too much fun at him, but the guy that installed my turbo, big rough. Anyway, Johan, can you send some pressure through it so I can show them how bad the leak is? It basically holds no pressure. You're not gonna be able to tell in video, but it's actually the outlet flange for the compressor. There's a little gasket there that you put RTV on. And the person that installed it, it's 100% their fault. It's not a wear and tear item whatsoever. So, big rough.
Did that person reuse the gasket?
I'm pretty sure that person put a new gasket, maybe? We'll see when we take it off, we'll know. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that that person was provided a new gasket and also put a layer of RTV on it. So, we'll find out when we remove it. Yeah. It's possible the bolt just got loose.
True.
So, we'll see. Actually, the person who installed said turbo is safe because it's actually a broken line going to the wastegate, which I suspected at the track, but it visually appeared okay, and I blew into it and didn't hear any sort of leaks. So it must have just been small and then gotten worse and worse and worse.
Seems like that person always gets saved by the bell.
Yeah. Do you guys know I'm a big fan of Garrett turbos? I work with Garrett a lot, and in this build I did kind of go out of the ordinary and I did an FP turbo just because of the fact that it was a bolt-on stock location, super simple setup, and I wanted to give it a shot. And I will say I have to give them massive props because I have been running this car essentially without a wastegate line, max boost for a while, and the turbo's still good, no smoke, so
yeah, that's pretty good.
Good work, guys. I'm excited to drive this thing how it should be now. So it's got the bigger tires, the different sway bar now, plus the LSD fix. It felt a little bit stiffer on the lift, but it's really hard to tell without actually having load on it. So I'm gonna try to test it on the way to go get in alignment, but I don't think I'm really gonna be able to unless I went to like an empty parking lot. Schulman's driving the RS. It's not often I get to hear it from behind, so I'm pumped. Shulman and I had a little fun. Shulman, by the way, you got walked.
I wasn't gonna go too fast.
Regardless though, I instantly turned the key off. I saw a bunch of smoke. Look at all this oil that's leaked.
It pushed out of the oil.
Out of the what?
Oil.
Dipstick?
Yes, dipstick.
Oh my god, this dipstick wasn't zip tied down.
Yep. There it is.
That's sketchy.
It'll be alright to drive back, you just don't get in the boost.
Yeah. It's just all that oil by the exhaust kind of sketchy. Dang. That was a lot of dude, smoke. I saw the smoke, I smelled it a little bit, I keyed off, but dude, it was sketchy because I was stupid, and when I keyed off, I couldn't steer and I almost went into that curb.
Oh, sugar.
Yeah. Shout out to crankcase pressure. I got nervous that it was an issue with the pan and I was leaking. Yes, that's why I instantly killed it.
There's a lot of smoke.
I mean, it's dripping a lot of oil. It's like I'm burning on the exhaust. I didn't realize this car still had so much crankcase pressure just because I've always been zip tying the dipstick down. But with that in mind, probably gonna add some more vents to the valve covers, like some bigger AN ones, and probably get maybe a new O-ring for the dipstick or something. So I didn't want to have to buy a bunch of new wheels for the E36, and if you remember, that's why I wound up converting it to 5x114. So the smartest decision, since this car's kind of a comp car, would be to use wheels that I already have a lot of. So what I did is I got the BC Forge from last year that were a little bit beat up, powder coated in a really cool kind of like charcoal matte gray, and I think they're gonna look really good. They're 9s in the front though instead of 8s, so I might have some clearance issues, but right now I'm gonna test fit them, see how they look, mount some tires. I think these are really gonna bring the aggressive look to the E36, but the cool thing about gray is if I don't like them on this, I can use them on any of the other colors, on any of the other cars, and won't be like ugly black. So I'm gonna need to get some custom spacers machined. it's kind of tricky because we have the whole situation with the BMW hub bore with 5x114, so it doesn't really work with anything. So I'm gonna need to get some 5x114 and then bore them out a little bit bigger. So I'll need to use a few spacers for now. I'm probably gonna run into wheel clearance hitting the control arm, but it's the price to pay to look good, I guess. Excited because I didn't think the fronts were going to work, but it seems like I have enough clearance. I mean, I might have my wheel if I'm doing like backies and stuff, but I'll probably never do a backie again. Hopefully this will fit.
Okay, Frank.
Looks pretty aggressive, huh? That's a cool way to drop it.
Hey, I like it.
It definitely, like, it went from looking like very docile and graceful to like aggressive.
Like, let's go.
The rear fitment though is like super aggressive. Looks like it might rub a little maybe. Oh no. All right, let's see. 2 fabricators in the trunk. How is the fitment? Woo! I mean, that's pretty good. That's like credit card flush, bro. Sam actually stopped by today and confirmed something that I've been suspecting. Am I undersprung or am I sprung?
Oh, you are undersprung by a lot.
It's funny that you would say that I'm undersprung.
Why?
It's an American joke. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
No idea.
But anyway, this car's always felt kind of soft in the front. I kind of like it, but for drifting, it makes it really like unresponsive and mushy and lazy. So I have 8Ks in the front, which is like S13 stuff. With a super heavy RB, I should be closer to like the, what, 12K range?
Yeah.
So we're not allowed to go over to BC because of, you know, all the lockdown stuff. But Marco has basically been running coilovers and stuff back and forth. So he's going to stop by later with some new springs to give them a try. All right, so we're taking the Evo for the first test with the new diff mod in the rear. I don't think I have any parking lots so I can go test it yet, so I'll have to do that later this evening. But now that it doesn't have the massive boost leak, it's crazy how much better the response is on this turbo. Sam's never been in this car before.
I have not.
It sucks that I don't have any corners to take you on because the grip this thing makes is wild.
Yeah. Feels really responsive.
You wanna feel something cool?
Yeah.
Show me your face. You ready? It's wild, right?
What?
Stock brakes.
The brakes are so good.
Ready for some fun?
Yep.
Wild, right?
This is wild.
30 pounds boost right now.
30 pounds. Feels so good.
On the track without the wastegate line, I may or may not have been peaking at like 38.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pull in here so we can like turn out real quick.
Yep.
See if it turns out.
Alright.
A little less understeering, but it's hard to tell. The transient response is so much better.
I lost my hat.
I know you guys were kind of into the idea of the Porsche hood as a whiteboard. There it is. It's all hung up. Johan made a little bracket for it. Much cooler than a junky old whiteboard. So now it's art, but also a functional piece. So good. I'm excited to see what Sam thinks of my RB since you are the RB guy.
I'm excited to just drive it. I'm not driving, sorry.
I was gonna say, man, getting ahead of yourself there. You know, maybe I was thinking about letting you drive it through the drive-through, but I don't know now. So I haven't used the no-lift shift in a while. I've been scared, but I think we're gonna give it a try if you think you're ready.
I'm ready.
I'll do it on the 3-4.
Alright.
I'll wait and I'll do it up here.
Okay.
It's so nerve-wracking to like not lift, but also shift.
I've never done it.
I'm just terrified because I feel like what if it doesn't work one time?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Jeez.
Wild. It just sounds like it gets mad, like it like starts breaking up, so it scares me. Like I think it goes a little bit rich on the no lift shift. It's like after it hits, it's a little. It's crazy though, right?
That's insane. So cool. No lag at all, like no transient lag at all during shifts. It's so cool.
Unfortunately, Starbucks, it's all out of blondes. I really No, that's not how I want to say that. Just do over. Give me a second. I need to
Wait, is this take 2?
I don't know how I want to word this. Starbucks is all out of blonde, and I was gonna make some sort of joke referencing Colette because she's like kind of blonde, and I had this. I don't know. I've ruined the joke. Sam replaced Colette. If you didn't notice, I literally go in the office today. He's sitting in her chair in her office. She left. Sam had just swooped right in.
Do I get the car with it?
What car? Her car?
The pink one.
Oh, bro, how weird is that? Both of you guys. Like
I know.
I know. Is it weird that she likes pink? Or
I have to admit, I was kind of salty that she's already got a pink 350Z.
You were salty that a girl painted her car pink. Listen to that. No, I get you though. One of the things Johan did today, we've had a tire bouncer forever. When we got those Benpack lifts, they sent us a tire bouncer to use. It's a Ranger tire bouncer. Never wired it. It's wired now. Johan got it done. This is the T on the E36. It was giving me a little bit of shake.
You can see it on the inside, even worse.
It's been so sad. Sad times. Look at the tire. What is that from? That's weird.
Maybe when you went off and you had something, look.
Huh. Sad times. By the way, I want to apologize to you guys because I know this upload was like definitely on the later side compared to what I would have liked to do. Super busy today, just trying to get everything ready for the new drop we did at the LZMFG store. If you haven't seen it on my social media, we did a drop where we released these cool pink hats along with these long sleeves that have pretty cool sleeve prints. Obviously, if you guys want to check out more, it's easier to see on the site with proper product photos. And none other than some pink coffee mugs. So all this stuff is available now, plus one other thing. One new product that we did just actually release on the LZMFG website is custom made to order windshield banners. Now you'll notice this car doesn't have a windshield banner, and we're gonna kind of walk you through the process if you were to order one for us. But it's something that I've always done on my personal cars, and we've kind of accumulated a large selection of vinyl, which I'm about to show you. And I thought it'd be cool to offer to you guys because I know, at least for me, it's important to be able to tie in the colors and the graphics and everything with your actual car. So offering like a made to order option I thought would be cool. That way if you guys wanted to order LZMFG banner, you can get all the colors and dial it in exactly how you want. So the way that it works on the site, we have a bunch of different colors for you guys to choose from. So you can choose your base banner color. Now what that would be is this strip right here that you would first install. And this is 3M wrap vinyl that's very nice. It's very easy to work with. It's very easy to press bubbles out. If you've ever worked with wrap vinyl compared to normal vinyl, it is a dream. So you'll get that. And then the idea was to give you 2 of the stickers that would go on top of it. I'll let you do it, that way you can make sure it's in the center and make sure it's exactly how you want it in terms of placement. But I thought I would give you 2 in case you mess one up, that way you have an extra one. But the cool thing is you could also choose a different design if you wanted, or you could choose 2 different colors. So if you wanted to layer them like we're gonna do in the Skyline and get a cool like 3D effect. There's a lot of really good how-tos on YouTube about installing windshield banners, and I'm by no means an expert, but I'm gonna kind of walk you through the process and the way that we've always done it, and hopefully it'll help you to make sure that you get it done perfect. So what you're gonna want your stickers, your banner, a squeegee or a credit card, some sort of razor or blade that has a very sharp edge, you don't want a dull one, some glass cleaner, as well as a microfiber. Oh, and strongly recommended masking tape and tape measure if you wanna make sure you have it perfect. First and most obvious step, we have the glass cleaner. We're just gonna clean the glass. You wanna clean a little bit on the roof too, and just kind of clean the area. Make sure you're not in like a super windy environment or anywhere where you're gonna get a bunch of dust or debris underneath it. Before you put your windshield banner on, it's really important to pay attention to your actual trim line, because you're gonna be kind of using the razor blade to cut there, so you wanna get a mental idea of where you're gonna be cutting that line, so you know if there's like a double edge or some sort of weird divot, you can mentally remember when you're actually cutting it and you can't see. So it's strongly recommended to have a friend or someone with you to help with the install, and it'll be harder to mess up. So James is here, and James just got some measurements on my S13 because I think that banner is perfect on that car. So if you guys are curious kind of what I usually do, I'll usually measure from the bottom or from the top, just kind of pick a line. So the first thing we want to do is figure out how low we want the center point. So based off this sticker, I want a little bit of headroom on the bottom and the top. So I'm going to match that on the other side, and then I have this line here, so when we lay the banner over, we can get it perfect. Like I said, we're not professionals at this, so you guys might very well have a much smarter way to do these measurements. But the idea is just to figure out and make sure it's level so you don't put it on and have it crooked. What I'm also gonna do before we put the windshield banner on, because it's easier to see now, usually the windshield mirror will be in the center, so if you're worried about finding a center point, that can be kind of tricky sometimes. So I'm gonna have James go stand in front and tell me. Is this about center, James? Keep in mind also, depending on your seating position and what car you're working with, it can be very annoying if you have the banner come down too low. I know it is technically illegal in some states. There's like a certain height that you're allowed to have the banner go down to. But if you don't sit very low in a car and you sit kind of high, if you sit kind of high in a car, it can be annoying because you might not be able to see stoplights and stuff. So I try to make it as minimal as I can, but it is really nice on drift cars and track cars because it blocks out the sun without needing sun visors. So what we're going to do, I go in dry, right? I'm a dry type of guy. James likes to use some Windex, but I know you have to be careful because you can definitely use too much.
Yeah, so you want to be really careful. You don't want to overuse it. You don't want to overuse it, but you also just want to lightly miss the back of it. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility so that the vinyl doesn't adhere right away, just so you can make some minor tweaks as you're placing it on there.
We're going to peel the vinyl off and be really careful not to let it stick to itself. Oh no! We suck at this. Okay. Pull it flat, and then I'll mist it. You just put it down on the car.
Like super far away, like just, yeah, barely on there. Might be a little too much sauce, but we'll be all right.
All right, now we're going to take it, pull tight. Remember the wrap vinyl is very forgiving, so like it's not, if you've ever put on like a terrible sticker, it's not gonna be terrible, I promise. So kind of line up that middle. It's okay, I'll tuck it out. Where are you lining up with your tape? Like on the black trim or on the white?
I'm above.
And then work from the middle. Now it's important too, because there's no transfer tape or anything, we're gonna use a microfiber along with the squeegee and work our way from the center out. And you can pull this up, it's super forgiving. You don't really need to worry about if you get a bubble or something, because you can just kind of pull it up. Good wrap vinyl is so easy to work with. Wow, this is so much easier than going in dry.
It really makes a difference.
I've never done that.
One thing to keep in mind though, this does have quite a bit of stretch to it, so if you and your buddy are kind of pulling against each other too hard, you'll lose that straight line kind of very easily. So make sure you're not pulling against each other too hard.
It almost feels like it's not going to stick with the Windex.
There might have been a touch too much.
Don't listen to James, don't use Windex, use the water and soap method.
Don't spray it so much like he did.
It is really, really important, I'm going to say it again, just to use this microfiber, just to make sure that you don't scratch vinyl, especially on the gloss colors.
Now if you start to notice like a really big crease that's just not going to go anywhere and you can just tell already, don't be afraid to just lift it back up and plant it back down again. Readjust, because once you commit to it, you're not necessarily locked in, but if you do create a wrinkle in there and you squeegee it too tight, that wrinkle is just locked in. It's going to stay there.
I'm kind of like folding it into the trim a little aggressively. I like to do that and make it really apparent where the line where I'm going to cut is, because I always do a really bad job at cutting it. Another thing, fun fact, a razor blade on glass in theory shouldn't really scratch it. You don't want to press super hard, but you don't have to be worried if you press a razor blade on the glass. You
can confirm. Yes.
Okay. Before I sound stupid, yes. But obviously you want to be careful of your rubber trim and stuff. So I'm just going to kind of use this edge to kind of keep my edge flat, and I'm going to do this line first. Just kind of run the blade. See, I messed up a little bit in the middle here. My blade got a little bit jumpy. That's where I kind of slowed down and it got caught. But for the most part, it came out not too bad. So this is just like any other sticker. You got two, so if you mess up, don't worry about it. You're gonna hold this. Now we're gonna drop down or drop back.
We are dropping, the red is up top.
Concept with the squeegee. Drop it in the center. Work your way out. I've never done a white banner on a car, so I don't know if I'm gonna like how this looks or not. All right, so we'll kind of frame it up. Sometimes the transfer tape, depending on your climate, can get kind of stuck to the vinyl, so you just really want to take your time and kind of make sure that all the edges are releasing. I'm not a fan of like the cheaper paper type transfer tape. I like the clear stuff just because it looks a little bit nicer, but sometimes it can be a little bit stickier. I've never done the actual color matched banner. You'll see in the product description, I actually recommend black because that's what I do on all my cars because I know it looks good. The white's kind of cool. I don't know how I feel about it. You guys can let me know what you think. But like I said, the beauty of it is you guys can experiment and do whatever you want to get your own look. In-car shot, so you can see about how low this is, goes a little bit below the mirror. Depending on car and seating position, you might prefer it to be a little bit higher, a little bit lower. All comes down to preference. James, you agree? Change it to black?
Yeah, if the white's matched a little better, it wouldn't be so bad. It's very obvious I was butted up against it.
Yeah, I'm just so used to black banners that are kind of a little more subtle and kind of blend into the windshield. I wanted to try something different, and I thought it would give you guys an idea, since you're used to seeing the black ones on my cars. Before you go and order a color match one in your car, you can see kind of how it would look. So here's an example on the Z of one we did a while back with one of the older logos. You can see we did a little bit smaller piece. That one's pretty good. The Z I sit super low though. Colette's car has one on. Hers is a little bit bigger, I think, but still not as big as one we just did on the 32. And then here's the S13 one we did a while ago that is probably a little bit on the bigger side, but I think I'm a fan of the black. You agree?
Yeah, the black looks really good for sure. And you can see the color match with the cream, how well that goes with it. So maybe you go that route instead.
Yeah, color match to the car with the logo. So we could do a white logo on the Skyline with a black banner and maybe a red drop instead.
Yeah, red drop would be sick.
All right, we'll redo that.
Yeah, let's do it again.
I can definitely be a bit of a perfectionist, and if I'm advertising a product, I want to make sure that I'm super stoked on it. So that's why I'm going to just pull this off right now and redo it. Oh, if I'm smart, I'll probably just leave the lines that we made for reference. So for take two, we're gonna go a little bit higher up on the windshield because I don't like how thick the banner was. And I'm also gonna use the recommended water with a drop of soap instead of Windex, because I felt like the Windex kinda, I mean, I sprayed too much, but I think the water will be more forgiving, so I'm gonna use this pretty liberally when we do it. All right, so here's what matte black would look like. This is matte black with matte white and then a gloss metallic red. I will say, I think I still prefer a gloss black, but this looks way better than the white. And the one thing I will say is if you're putting a sticker on top of matte vinyl, it can be a little bit trickier, so you need to make sure that it is fully on and you're being really careful when you're peeling the transfer tape off. Picky Me decided to pull the red off. I think this is the winning combo. This is usually what I do in the cars. I'll do black for the banner. I think I would prefer gloss black, but gloss black comes in tomorrow, so we couldn't do it today. With a color match sticker, I think it always looks the best. This looks super clean and simple. So those custom made to order banners are available now, and you can expect them to take about 1 to 3 days to ship. And I just want to give you a heads up that if you order other stuff and other merch, it's going to wait to ship until your banner ships. But we've got all this vinyl and we're ready to start making you guys some cool creations. So I wish you guys best of luck, and for sure if you have any questions, post them below and I'll do my best to answer them. So I know we told you guys that we were designing a new radiator setup for the E36. So a local guy actually put together a pretty cool package for us with some big spall fans and a nice custom quadruple pass core that technically Johan designed. So I'm excited to see this thing in there and see how much more cooling we're gonna get. I kind of want to do a side-by-side compared to the tuck radiator. This is like some race car stuff, where the tuck radiator would be more like a street car, like a stock 1J setup. Let's see how it compares. So the main difference is you'll see the heights are pretty much the same, but we were able to get a little bit bigger core out of it and much bigger end tanks for a little bit more volume of fluid in the system. So we'll see if that makes a difference, but I think the key is gonna be having these 2 big fans versus the 1 single. I think we'll be able to pull a lot more air through it. So we will probably have to remake some of the intercooler piping. We'll see if it ends up clearing. I'm curious to see how we're gonna mount it, if we're gonna mount it from in front or in back. So
I think it'll be right to mount it for the front. If we do it through the side, it'll be kind of hard to service.
yeah. Does she fit?
It should.
How are the measurements? Maybe need to trim a little more?
Yeah, we have to take these off like I originally planned. So let's do. I didn't want to do that.
Uh-huh.
If we didn't have to, so I just cut it there.
Gotcha.
I'll just cut this off where I marked it and retry again.
Take 2 with a little bit more clearancing. Will she fit? Oh, clears the relay and everything.
Yeah. Alright, so it's not supposed to come that high, but yeah, that's about where it's gonna sit.
Sick. Still plenty of clearance too.
Yeah.